What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the CultureVerse podcast. We have a movie review for you guys today, and not just a normal movie review, a very highly anticipated movie review, as we all saw Project Hail Mary, which is going crazy right now in terms of box office, in terms of reviews. I believe it's currently Ryan Gosling's highest rated movie with a 95% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is just crazy, and it is making its budget back like none other. So, we are here to, of course, review this movie. So, as you know, spoilers ahead. We will be getting into spoilers. We'll be talking about everything that happens in this movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Come back, listen to this. We promise it's worth it. So, without further ado, gentlemen, let's start with our ratings.
You
Any
know,
volunteers?
it's a big movie review when Gabe says something like, "It's getting a lot of buzz right now." It's not just any movie review.
Well, not
He's,
it's not some like Amazon Prime streaming exclusive. I gotta hype him up, man.
I get it. I get it.
Jack, we're not hearing you. I saw him say shit.
The void cooking.
I was gonna say it literally is an Amazon movie though.
You're
Now you're
also
echoing.
echoing.
The
Give
echo
this
is
guy,
all the way up, folks.
yeah, give this
Yeah,
guy.
because
Yeah, this guy's drunk.
Just not prepared.
Insane.
I had ate too many before the pod.
That'll happen. Okay, ratings. Who wants to start with their rating? No one. That's okay. Nope, Tyler does. All
we're
right.
giving this a 5.
Holy
A
shit.
5.
Okay. Who's following him up? Who's doing it?
I'm just gonna get out of the way now before three other people say five and say that I gave it a 4.5
Okay. Okay.
before I ruin everything.
Uh, I gave this a 5.
I gave this a 4.
Okay, good.
You guys suck.
Yeah, I figured.
All right. Well, there's our ratings. If you guys didn't listen to the cautionary warning before, now is your chance to leave before we spoil things. You know our ratings. Come back and listen afterwards. It'll be worth it. But let's get into this, guys. We have two fives, a 4.5, and a 4. Do we want to just start with things that we all liked, or do we want to have you guys start with why you didn't give it a 5? That's
Yeah, I was
something.
about to say, since we're all very highly on it, why don't we just get the probably
Yeah,
minimum cons out of the way?
I agree. In that case, I mean, not to put you on the spot, but Caleb, do you want to start since you probably had more than Jack?
Almost
Probably.
certainly.
I only have 3 cons as a whole, honestly.
Three too many.
The thing is with my score for this movie is I 100% need to see this again because I don't feel for sure in my review in itself. I left the theater being like, I don't know, for something's not clicking, and I really wanted it to
Hmm.
because of all the praise. Ryan Gosling's one of my favorite actors. Um, so there was a lot of factors that I was just like, man, I'm ready to give this a 5. This felt like when we saw Sinners last year, and I was like,
Hmm.
there's almost undoubtedly I'm gonna love this. And I thought I came into the movie thinking that. I kind of left. I was like, I don't know. It just didn't really click with me. And that's kind of my first con is some of the emotional swings it goes for, and they're big. They're big. There's big emotional sweeping moments. A lot of them just didn't really connect with me as much as it probably should. I don't know if that's because it was just late. I don't know if it just like truly didn't hit me. Um, and that's one of the big reasons why I need to see it again, I think, because I think those moments that should hit usually hit for me. And so it felt strange when I was just kind of seeing these like sad moments, and even just like those like insane like overcoming the odds moments. It just like, usually that would be like this is awesome, but for me, I was just like it's good, but it's just not hitting those heights that I thought it was going to. So that's really my big complaint. I don't really know why, but I really need to see this again. I'm just gonna preface that with my 4.
Did it have something to do with the guy in front of us just cackling the entire movie?
No, that
Did
made
that
it
take you out
better.
of your element a little bit? It made it better. I
I'm
don't know
just
about
kidding.
that.
I'm just kidding.
Bro is just emoting the entire movie.
I had to shout him
It
out in my
was
review, by
insane.
the way. I was like, I talked about the comedy. I was like, just ask the guy in front of me at the theater. He had a blast.
It might have been the
Dude,
funniest movie ever,
when he
according to
said
him.
when he audibly said "oh," I actually laughed when he went "oh." I was like, all right, guys, this guy's wit. This is the first movie he's ever seen. He didn't even know what a movie was before this. He's like, "Oh my gosh." Yeah, that was funny. So it sounds like it's more of like a preference, strange feeling thing
Yeah.
than like it was this exact thing that I didn't like
I have
thing.
2 other things, Jack. I don't know if you had anything else to add on to that with why you're not at a 5. If you just wanted to get that out.
I mean, I can. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm planning on seeing this within the next couple days again because it is, I think, just such a good theater experience. Um, nothing about my cons brings this down from like a pure like enjoyment, especially in the latter half of the movie, where I guess I wasn't like swept off my feet with a 5 star. Like the way I think about a 5 star movie is that I am like just enthralled the entire time. Like I'll use for an example like F1 from last year. I am locked in on that movie from the first minute to the very end of the film. And with this movie, it took a little while for me to get totally invested. And I know, which this is actually a bit of a compliment at the same time because space movies are already hard to get Jack on board sometimes, unless it's named Star Wars.
Or
That
Marvel.
gets a free pass. Marvel has a very like grounded baseline though, where it's like,
Guardians of the Galaxy? Not
no,
that grounded.
they made 6 amazing movies. Not, I'm not going to call all the Phase One movies amazing, but they had like a really good precedent before they ever set foot in space to establish this universe. That's not really my point anyway. Kind of like solo space, astronaut, alien type movies is what I'm talking about, not gods in space and Star-Lord's a space cowboy. Like that's totally different. I'm talking about like astronauts and aliens type of deal. And so for the first kind of, I guess I not like the first half of the movie, nothing that extreme, but maybe the first like fourth to sixth of the movie, I was just kind of wrapping my head around what was necessarily going on. Not that it was like confusing per se, but just the way it was paced at the beginning and put together and presented to me. I was not like super bought in right off the bat. It kind of took me a while to get invested emotionally and into the story in general. And I guess that was what held me back from just slapping the 5 on it. I don't know if I see it again and I know what happens in the movie and suddenly the beginning there's going to be things that like make more sense that they're setting up and I'm like, "Oh, that makes more sense narratively to me and I don't care as much." And then it gets a 5. But that was the reasoning in my head for sticking at a 4.5.
I don't think I've ever heard someone fraction a movie into 1/6.
1/6, man.
Been a while.
17% roughly. But
1/8 of the story didn't really work with me.
you know,
Specifically one eighth.
sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. I will say essentially once Rocky's introduced into the film, I don't know if I have a single complaint. So there's that. That's why it's so high in the first place. This con is not a major con.
Caleb, what else do you got?
They're all quick hitting too. The big con for me was just, and it's not even really a con at some point. It's just me like not really connecting. The one con I did feel is that the ending, the last 25 minutes feels weird to me because I feel like it was paced really quickly and the rest of the movie felt very slow. I just feel like we were making a lot of like plot choices, like Grace was making a lot of choices going back and forth, and the movie just kind of like abruptly ends. And I feel like there was a part where we could have like ended it, but he makes another choice, and then we see more on the planet. It just felt like they were kind of, to me, it feels like they didn't want to conclude it with finality, but they also didn't want to make it too open ending. I think they're trying to leave the door open for a sequel, which I do like, but I also feel like it kind of forces their hand into making it both at the same time as how I was thinking about it, to where I think didn't they come out and say they're toying with the idea of a sequel based on like reception of it. I thought I had saw maybe they
I
were
have
talking
not
about
seen that.
a sequel. Maybe I'm just tripping.
I
Um,
also feel like I have seen something say that they ended it that way so there wouldn't be a sequel. Unless I'm
I
tripping. I
maybe
thought
maybe I misread the thing, but I just
I
thought
don't
maybe they were
know.
talking
I could
about
be
a sequel, I
I
suppose.
I might have seen it. Maybe what I saw was someone like saying that they thought it ended in a way that I don't know. I don't think they've made a comment on it. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, regardless, I just thought the pacing was weird. I don't think it was bad. I just thought it was weird. It just feels strange to me about how it was faster than the other parts of the movie. I don't know. It just felt like kind of ended more abruptly than I was expecting. And then the one thing I'm taking a page out of Jack's book here. I wish they would have done more with the science. I wish they would have explained it more. Give me more of the lore.
Page of Jack's book.
I wanted more of the science explained to me. I kind of felt like we were getting more of just like the science presented to us, and it was kind of like, this is how it works. And I was like,
Rocky origin story.
okay. Yeah, Rocky origin story. I just feel like it would have
I'd
been
be
nice
down for that.
to see. I would too, actually. It would have been nice to see like the effects of the impending disaster a little bit more. Maybe see some of how the science is happening, other than just kind of tossing it up to Grace and Rocky or these super geniuses, which is cool. I just wish we could have seen more. It's more of a preference. Just wanting to see the science more explained to me would have been nice, I suppose.
I will say one thing I had thought about in the movie. I just didn't give a shit, but I was like a little confused at how quickly he was able to completely translate an entire species foreign language without like I don't know that much time. Like he's like not an astrology, a astronomer essentially, like genius. He's not a linguist. Like it was just kind of was it didn't particularly make a whole lot of sense how they were able to come up with that, but frankly I wanted to hear Rocky speak, so I don't care.
That's there's just like parts in there like there I think the part where like he has like the first message that he gets from Rocky like the canister and it has like the map where it lines up. They kind of just like show you and don't really tell you what it's doing. And it's like I get what they're doing, but it would have been nice to get a little bit. I'm basically asking my hand to be held here. Okay, I want my hand held here. I just want a little bit more information as far as the science goes. I think it's probably a little picky, but I just that's just how my brain worked with this movie. I just wanted to see more of the science, I guess. I don't know.
I think the problem is even if they hold your hand, you still probably aren't going to understand it.
That's
Like
fine, I
super
suppose. Yeah, yeah.
deep, intense science that's like they tell you the purpose of it and why they're doing it, and that's like the gist of it. That's what you need to know. You know it. It kind of reminds me of Loki. Loki does this a lot. Loki's like, here's what we're doing, and it's really important, but we're not going to explain to you what the entire concept of the multiverse and breaking it down is because frankly, we don't have enough time for that. And you're just supposed to sit there and take it pretty much and just be like, all right, like,
I would argue this is better than Loki.
okay,
No,
Like explaining the like I know what the analogy you're making.
they're on par.
uh,
I
sure.
see it.
Sorry, I'll withdraw my statement.
I just think Loki has so many episodes to do it in that I think they do a better job. But they both do
Oh,
the same thing. They're both like we're gonna explain it to you. We're gonna make sure you understand what's happening. But like if they do walk you through that and hold your hand, the movie's gonna be like 3.5 hours
Well,
long.
yeah, I'm not expecting
It's
like
already two
full
hours and 36
portions of
minutes. They
it, but
can't
like
take time to like
I suppose,
the
yeah,
science and this is how this works and this is how this and like it would also feel stupid for like why would they be explaining that? Like in the context of the story, why would Ryland be like I'm doing this science because this equal like it wouldn't make sense for him
yeah,
to explain it and he's not going to teach Rocky, like
I
they can't
suppose. I
it's hard to explain what's happening any more than they do than like explaining why we're doing it, like
I suppose, yeah.
at some point it's just going to go over our heads because we're not astrologists or astronomers or whatever Jack was saying. I don't know, I forgot
I
what you
guess you could have used Rocky
astronomer,
because
yeah.
I mean Grace is just a teacher. I mean he's really smart, obviously, and
said.
he gets it because of his
Yeah,
dissertation. But you could have used Rocky as a device where he's explaining something that he didn't realize or something. Again, I'm not expecting anything like big portions of the movie where they're breaking down the science of it. It just
I
things
get what
here
you're
and
saying.
there kind of added up, I suppose.
I,
It's not
I,
huge, it's not a big deal really,
I
but
get
I
what you're
just
saying.
would have
I,
been
I
nice.
think for me at that point, the reason I'm disagreeing is because at that point I would feel like I'm just being talked to. Like they're just like
True.
literally looking at me and they're like,
Fuck two.
here's the science, buddy. And I'd be like, okay, dude, I don't like
That's fair.
this is, but I get what you're saying. Like you want more. I understand there are so many movies where I'm always like, this would be awesome if they gave me just a little bit more. Like I get that. And it's already that my thing is just it was already almost 2 hours and 40
Mhm.
minutes. Like they were already running with a tough runtime. But I actually want to make a comment about what your second con was, and that was the weird pacing. In a way, I agree with you, but I don't have a problem with it. And what it is, at least what I think it is, it's the decision to have the leak that makes him turn around and go save Rocky. That feels very like we had an ending, he's headed home, and then, oh shit, there's a problem. Where did this problem come from? And then he quickly decides, all right, I'm just going to go save Rocky. And then he saves Rocky, and then it's over. Like, that does feel a little strangely paced. That's maybe the closest thing I have to a con, and it's not a con. It's just like that made me feel like there was gonna be an it felt like that needed to have happened like 20 minutes earlier. Like we needed more of him getting like we don't see him explain it to Rocky. He doesn't explain anything to Rocky. We just see him meet up with him again, and then it cuts to now he's living happily on their planet and they're putting him in a dome. Like you just skip a big jump there. I don't have a problem with it, but I think that's what you mean, or at least that's what I'm assuming is when it takes that weird turn. Is when it's like happy ending, everything's happy. What do we do now? We party, and they fly back, and he falls asleep, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait, I thought it was over. How is there a problem? And then
No,
everything goes 100 miles an hour, and there's a leak. Oh shit, Rocky's gonna die. I have to make a decision now. What do I do? Save Rocky. We're happy at the end. Like
yeah, that's the word that I would use too. It's just strange was
it
how I
is
felt,
strange.
and
It's
I'm
it
skeptical about it.
it wraps it up in a way that they. But the reason I like it is because it was almost too like picture perfect of an ending of like he gets to go home and he's going back to Earth and Rocky. Like I like him staying on a different planet, and I like this idea of like he didn't really have anything to go back to, and I think one of the best representations of that in the entire movie is actually when he decides to go back and save Rocky. If you look at what he does, look at Tyler, he's in space. What he actually does, and I think this is super intentional, is to write his plan to go save Rocky, he erases his "Who am I" board. And to me, that's symbolizing essentially that he's erasing that version of himself and choosing to, what the fuck, dude? He's erasing that version of himself. At least that's how I took it. And now he's essentially accepting that that's his past now. Like he's his new "Who am I" board is saving Rocky and going to live with, like, that's his life now. And I really like that. And I think that's a better ending than everyone's happy. He gets to go home. Rocky goes home. The end. Like, I like this better. And actually, I love the ending of him teaching all the little Rockies, the Iridians. I think that's really cool. It's also incredibly accurate to the book. The last page of the book is the exact same. I saw something on TikTok about that, and now I got to read the entire book. But the last page is that exact same quote where he's like, "What's the speed of light?" And then it says something like a bunch of alien hands raised or something like that. So it's remaining faithful. It's I've heard a lot of people saying this is like a really good adaptation. It's like super
I
accurate.
saw that.
Yeah.
I've heard the opposite
W.
actually.
Oh, wow. I've
Like
heard
I,
so
I
many
like
people
I
talk
heard like
about
the way they, I don't know what they're called, but the cells that eat the sun, though that's not in the book at all. They're actually like actual aliens that are
that'd be weird. Good thing I'm
taking,
reading the book.
Technically, if they're living, they're still aliens.
you know what I mean? Like they're
Okay.
like an actual imposing threat to not only the sun but people.
That's interesting. I'll be interested to it's the astrophage, I believe is what it's.
Yes.
Yes.
It, I'll be interested when I read the book if it is that, and I'm not sure I'm gonna like that. I like this idea way more. I think the science is a lot more interesting. This concept of it eating the sun essentially is super interesting. It makes for some really good moments. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of just like messing around with like in between cons and pros. Do we just want to go full pros now and just kind of?
I do have a con,
Oh, okay.
despite the
Sorry,
fact that
Tyler.
I have a
Yep.
five. Um, and it's a rare one for me. Uh, I thought the movie was a tad too long.
I can.
That being said, the reason why it didn't affect my score at all is because the reason why it was long is because I felt like there was a lot of drug out scenes, more like just shots in general of space, and because they were so visually amazing, it didn't affect my score at all. So
It didn't
that's,
feel unnecessary to you. I'm assuming.
yes,
Like,
but it was noticeable.
By the way,
that's
Gabe,
fair.
we expect a book report next week.
Next
So,
week,
yes.
no,
Sorry,
that will
hard
not be
deadline.
happening.
You
Okay,
can email for an extension if you'd like.
Kel, what?
You won't get it.
quick thing about the sequel thing. I just looked it up. Weir said he doesn't have any ideas to strong enough to run with yet, but he does have bits and pieces of good ideas for sequels.
So
So I
he
don't.
wants
It's
to write a book.
and it could be a sequel. So I don't know
To be
what they
quite
would do with
frank, I
that.
would be upset if there was a sequel. This is a very
Mhm.
I
standalone
There's
think
no
movie.
reason to go
It
to
doesn't
sequel.
need another. Even if the book came out, I feel like it would also just like, I don't know. I haven't read the book. I guess I can't say that, but
I think I agree, but
it
I
just
guess
doesn't need it.
that's what that's tying that back with how the ending felt for me. It just felt strange. Maybe the whole thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's the whole thing where I just feel weird about the ending. I don't know.
It's all fun and games until they force the author to write a sequel, and then they give them the Jurassic Park treatment, and they just ignore the sequel and make a mediocre movie instead, and then taint their franchise. So yeah, I agree. Let's not.
Okay, that was yes. Um,
Real ones, no.
I went and actually watched this again today. Not because there was a lot of reasons I wanted to rewatch this. There were so many things that I was super interested in, and I just wanted to look into that and actually like see some things that I didn't maybe catch the first time. But the second I walked out of the theater the first time, I was incredibly locked in on a 5 star. Like I knew this was going to be a movie that I was going to have to seriously like figure out where I'm going to rank this in my all-time movies. And part of that as well was watching it again today and making a decision. I went to go see it today so I could actually decide where I'm going to try to rank it in my all-time favorite movies. And it's getting a dangerously high ranking right now. This movie does everything I want it to do, like everything. It's incredibly emotional in the right ways, whether it's happiness, sadness, joy, uh, any of those things. The acting is awesome. Ryan Gosling is like seriously one of the better actors of our generation. Like everything he's in is good. He's just always good. It's kind of insane. the humor is incredible. This movie, I don't think a single joke misses in this movie. Like, I don't know a time where I didn't laugh at an intended joke. Everything with whether it's all the stuff with Carl or it's everything with Rocky. I think the stuff with Carl is hilarious. Carl and I made a baby. It's so funny. It's awesome. But then it's like it's so emotional with the shots, like the type of shots that you talk about the space shots and whatnot, Tyler. But there's just so many shots that feel so personal, and that's because of Greg Fraser or Greg, I don't know. Greg Fraser, the cinematographer who's incredible, the guy who did the Dunes, he did the Batman, he's done Rogue One, he's done everything. The Beatles stole him from the Batman too. Um, the guy is insane. Like seriously, he is absolutely insane. The cinematography work that he does is crazy. There are so many times. This is one of those movies where you could probably pause it at any point. It's probably going to look good. Like it's probably going to be a scene that looks pleasing. It just looks good. Like there's so many scenes that are just incredible. The colors are awesome. The sets are insane. There's no green screens at all in this movie, which is just insane. Everything looks amazing. This movie is just visually one of the more stunning movies I've probably ever seen in a movie theater before. Like, you have to see this in theaters. I wish I saw this in IMAX. I really do. This would be an awesome movie to see in IMAX. But it's just, I'll get into other stuff later, but I'll leave that there for now. Like, this movie has pretty much everything that I want it to have. And one of the biggest aspects is what I'm going to get into here in a little bit. But I'll let other people add some stuff.
Are you telling me that they went to space to film this movie?
No, Jack, they did not go to space to film this movie.
No green screens. There's no other way for them to go.
I think there's other ways. I'm going to go ahead and assume there's other ways.
Rocky was real.
Dude, it might have been. You never know.
I,
Is it well from a pro,
guess
or am I just gonna move
well,
on?
No, there's no pros.
I can bounce off what you said about Ryan Gosling because he is one of my favorite working actors right now. And I think it's time we take him more seriously as an actor. I think he gets
Yeah.
discredited for being a comedic actor, which admittedly he's really good at as it is, but he is proven to have depth in his performances. And this is just
Mhm.
he's by himself in this movie. Most I mean if it's a flashback. But he every scene I mean he's in all the scenes, but if he's not in a scene, you can tell when he's missing because you're just like, let's get back to Grace. Because the range of emotions he can do in this movie is really impressive. It's long-winded to say, but Ryan Gosling deserves credit. It's long overdue for him to get something besides being known as the funny guy.
Yeah.
And I applaud his performance in this.
It's like you said, he's seen as just a funny guy, but then you see movies like this and like I mean, I feel inconsistent about it, but like in La La Land, he's not a funny guy. He's kicking ass. He's actually acting his ass off. Like the guy can do such a wide range of things. And like you said, I feel like everyone just thinks about him because he does funny roles, which he enjoys the funny roles. Like I think he loves them. We love him. It's really fun, but like he can be super serious. He can be super emotional. There's so many scenes in this movie where he's really just knocking it out of the park in terms of emotions. And something you said actually reminded me about something else I want to mention. I love the past and present storytelling that this movie does. I love the way it strings you along like a mystery, the way you're trying to figure out how he got here with him. You feel the intensity of it, but at the same time, I love how you feel the scale. Like you feel the intense, like the movie's so intense, the tension's so high, the everything is so like important, and yet at the same time, he's trying to figure out who he is and why he's here, and you're there with it. And he does such a good job of acting, and I like how you can like see that same version of himself that's in the flashbacks in terms of his emotions, but he doesn't know who he is yet. Like, for example, what I mean, like when you see him being super genuine and like emotional about sending the two crew people into space, that feels so like the version of himself that you're seeing in the past. Like he's such a genuine, innocent person and like a genuinely good person. And to watch like just to see him try to figure out who he is, how he got here, and meanwhile you don't know any of the answers either, I think is so good. And then when you get that twist, I guess you can call it a twist at the end that he was forced to go here, even though they kind of started implying that earlier on. But as soon as you get that twist that he was forced to be here, everything becomes way darker, way more intense. But at the same time, you can't really like it's hard to con like the decision that they made because I mean, look what he did. Like he did it. It was the right choice. I mean, it's hard to con Eva. Like I understand why she did it. Like it makes sense to me, but
Yeah.
they want you to think that she's kind of a villain, but at the same time they give you these shots that like show this really innocent, not innocent, but like he always asks her in the flashbacks, like, do you ever feel bad about this? And she says no, but you see her face towards the end when he's like running outside, where she looks genuinely like distraught. Like she finally really feels bad. Like it's just it adds human to her character. Yeah, I love the twist. I love just the way the story's told in this past and present way. It's so effective.
I would agree with that. I feel like that's a method of storytelling that doesn't always hit. I don't think that's an easy way
Agreed.
to tell your story, but I think it works really well with this movie, especially as we've mentioned, the lack of on-screen actors with Ryan Gosling throughout.
Hmm.
If you had just lumped all of that at the beginning of the movie, then the second half would feel it would be very jarring, like because you would just pretty much halt to a stop
Yeah.
after having all of this, like having a bunch of action on the screen and a whole bunch of setup, just going straight to nothing, basically. Um, so yeah, I think that they should be applauded for that. I'm also in agreement that Ryan Gosling does an incredible job for that's a tough role. I mean, I know I don't watch enough movies to really be one of the uh award deciders, but I feel like I rather doubt that I'm going to see five acting performances better than Ryan Gosling's this year.
He could.
So shit, I'd give him a nomination
I didn't think Michael B.
already.
Jordan was going to win when we watched Sinners. I mean, we all talked about how good it was, but I didn't think he was ever going to get
I thought he
Oscar
was going to
winning.
win.
We also talked about how they're kind of trying to like change the way that Oscars are working, and now that they're actually,
Good.
it's well, it's stupid to say this, but now that they're actually requiring people to watch all the movies, dumb that that wasn't a thing. But the fact that they're adding things now and taking it more seriously, maybe Michael B. Jordan winning was a sign of more movies like this one are actually going to get
Yeah.
noticed. Maybe Ryan Gosling has a chance of actually getting noticed because it's when a movie does as successfully as a movie like this is going to end up doing, it deserves to be mentioned. It does. It didn't just do successful because like they act like those movies got lucky or like they rigged it or something.
Yeah.
It's like maybe it's just really good and he should be talked about. So I kind of agree, like Caleb, both of you, but like I think there's a serious chance he at least gets he'll still be
Nominated.
mentioned by the time that nominations are coming out. I think he'll still be like one of those that you're like, maybe we do nominate it. Maybe it was good enough because this year is really good, but it's a lot of like superhero movies and a lot of like
Yeah.
sci-fi that sometimes don't get noticed. So he could
Yeah.
sneak in for sure.
Does anyone here know if he received recognition in any way for La La Land? I'm assuming that's
I
the
believe
only.
he was nominated, but I think Mahershala Ali won for Moonlight.
There you go.
Oh, was that the same year? That makes
I
Unless
just
sense.
he,
know
unless Mahershala won for supporting, I can't remember.
I just know this would be Gosling's first Oscar. He's not won a lot,
Okay.
so it
Okay.
would be
Yeah,
his
that
first
was
Oscar.
basically what I was getting at.
It would
He
be
got
his
a
first.
he got a nom for Barbie, I think, which
I believe
is
he did, which there was no shot he was
wild, but
winning that. Yeah, that's just
Didn't he win a Grammy
that's just. I think
yeah, I think
for
they did for
Barbie?
Best Original Song. Yeah, I think they won Best
Because
Original
that's the
Song.
that's the reaction meme of his, where he's like,
Yes.
"Why?"
Uh, Kind of moving from that, talking about our original song, I want to talk about Daniel Pemberton and his score of this movie.
He does the
Holy
Spider-Verse
shit.
stuff too, right?
This is my top pro.
Yeah.
I wrote down in my review, I said Daniel Pemberton, Phil Lord, and Christopher Miller need to work together until the end of time, and then some more. Because,
Yeah.
dude, I actually wrote, I don't think anyone on this planet could have scored this film better than Pemberton. I think every scene is scored to perfection. I think you feel every drop of emotion that they want you to feel. You feel the wow of it all. You feel the just the every time you sit there like looking at something that's just fantastic. The music is incredible. Yes, Caleb, I do agree that Hans
Yeah.
Zimmer would have cooked, but I think Pemberton with Phil Lord and Christopher Miller,
Their styles work well.
it
And
works so good, and we know it. We know it works. That's the other thing. Like it just it's so effective. It's so good. It's so powerful. And there's so many moments in this movie that you're just kind of like sitting there like taking it in and just witnessing it. And the visuals are crazy, but then you're just like completely swept off your feet when the score comes in. And
yeah,
it's just completely it's one of those things where like if you just had a good to great score, it really wouldn't boost it as good as this score does. This is
yeah.
like a perfect score for me. Like I just
Well,
couldn't. Today I noticed it more than I did the first time too. Throughout the whole film, the first time there were key moments. This one, every time a score comes in, I was like, dude, that is so good. It's just phenomenal.
and on top of that, kudos to whoever had the freaking vision of using Sign of the Times, and not only the trailer, but the way they use it in the movie was really good as well. I about halfway through the movie, I was like, I wonder if we're actually going to hear that song. And
Hmm.
then they did bring it around, and it was pretty
Great
sweet. It was
scene.
pretty sweet in the movie too.
That
So
scene is so good.
kudos to that. Um,
Absolutely.
I think I had another, yes, I had another pro I wanted to bring up, kind of with the story plot that we were talking about, how it was kind of jarring for some of us at points, especially with like the presentation of like the issues and where those were kind of placed towards the end of the movie. But one thing I really, really liked was, and I know that sometimes I kind of watch a movie like a Neanderthal and I just don't expect like the way the twists go. Like I'm not trying to like predict and outsmart the movie. I'm just watching it and taking it as it goes. Um, I kind of just expected them to go down the easy route where he and Rocky are talking about their love lives and Rocky has whatever his mate at home, and Ryan Gosling had no one, and they kept going with the flashbacks with him and whatever her name is. I'm sadly
Adrian.
forgetting her name. Not Rocky's
Adrian.
mate.
Oh,
The
Eva?
yes, Eva. Sorry, I disrespected her. That's okay. Um, I kind of expected them to almost build up something like that, and then when him to go home to like have something worth going home for. And then
Mhm.
they kind of completely subverted that in the way that Gabe mentioned, where he figured out a different version of himself he wanted to be. And the twist, I would say it's a twist of realizing how he got there in the first place, that he was essentially betrayed by humanity. Like, even if it's a logical decision, they did kind of like just force him to do it. So, like, he doesn't owe them anything at this point. He's done his job, he's saved them, he should feel no obligation to. And frankly, he's happy at the end of the movie. And so
Mhm.
I just thought that was a creative way of changing the expectation. I know a lot of the times when movies like just try to be different just because it's kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth because you're like, so you just didn't want to take the easy route just because it was predictable, even though it would have been satisfying. And then you do some weird shit, and then people are like, nah, this actually like sat good with me. And even though it's weird, like he's literally like basically it's basically in a zoo, essentially a well-maintained and he's in a protected habitat. I'll say that.
He's
Sure. It's
Truman
yeah.
Show,
He's in
but
it.
like it's not a
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
Well,
Except they all care. They actually care for
yes,
him, and
yes.
they're not
They're
like
like he's a
abusing
hero.
him. Yes,
No,
they
they're
literally love this
but
guy.
it literally is like a protected
Yes,
habitat.
and
It's
they're
like
just
the
watching
class
him.
turtle. It's like
Yeah,
the class turtle that everyone loves.
yeah, and they're
And he's
like, "Do
just
you want the
hanging out there.
climate turned up?"
Yeah. Yeah, how's the weather in there, guy? Can we get you like a log or something?
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much
And
what's happening.
like and it's weird that he has like a classroom full of like little rocks jumping around. But
Oh
he's
yeah.
happy. So and it's already a weird movie, so it's fitting and
Yeah.
it's a good ending. And on top of that, what I was really worried about with this movie, especially towards the end there where they had the problems coming up, is that they were just gonna leave it like
Hmm.
be like, oh, yep, I'm going back to save Rocky, and then they don't show you
I
if he
thought they were
saved
gonna
him
do
or
that
not.
too.
Like you're just gonna see the decision and it's gonna end. I was concerned about that because I knew we were really long into the movie. I
Yeah.
didn't know how quite long it was, so I was like, are we just gonna end with some BS here? Like,
Yeah.
they probably got saved it, but we're not gonna show
Yeah.
you.
Like, I thought that
But they,
exact thing was gonna happen.
yes, they actually finished the story through. They committed to it and actually did it. I'm assuming it's because of the way the book ends, so they had it lined up for them. But props to them for actually doing it. Don't you
Mhm.
can be unique and true to your story without
Mhm.
being trying to be some revolutionary and making something that's annoying to me.
Yes. Yeah.
And lastly, that's because I'm giving a ton of props to Lord and Miller, who I adore because they
Hmm.
don't miss.
No, they do
They
not.
have made one of my favorite animated movies of all time, the Lego Movie, one of my favorite comedies of all time in 21 Jump Street, and they're not missing.
I thought bro was gonna say Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs for a second.
I thought he was gonna
No.
mention either of the Spider-Verse
Yeah,
movies.
that's what I was
Okay, but they
assuming.
didn't direct those. But yes, their
They just
writing skills are
produced and
They
wrote them.
phenomenal as
wrote
well.
it.
Yeah, yes, I was referring to their directed films. See, but I mean, yes, that's even more evidence. They know how to freaking write. They can direct.
They're very good.
They're amazing creatives, and I agree that they should just be involved with making as many things as possible. I don't even care. It's great if Ryan Gosling's there, but I think they can work. They should be working with all sorts of types of talent in the industry because they can clearly make. They've now proven they can do animation, comedy, sci-fi. They
Well,
could pretty much
horror,
do any genre they want.
that
I wouldn't suggest it,
I don't
but
do it, please.
I would go
And
adventure
can they
or
animate it?
fantasy. I would do an adventure or fantasy film if I was them. That
Uh,
would be my next endeavor.
the thing that makes me so happy about that as well that you're mentioning, Jack, is like this was a big test for them because they've done
Yeah,
phenomenal in animation, and the only live action they've done is comedy. So taking a huge step into sci-fi, huge, magnificent, big, bold
that's a
adventure
hard
kind of
genre.
sci-fi, and adapting a Andy Weir book, like that's not easy, dude. Like that's a huge commitment, and getting Ryan Gosling, getting the hype built up for it, all of that stuff, like that's serious. Like that's not easy. And to come out and just knock it out of the park and make this phenomenal movie that looks amazing. It's got heart, it's got emotion, it's got comedy, it's got tension, it's got everything you want. And for them to come out and do so well with it is such a like promising thing to see from them. It's so impressive. It's just phenomenal. It makes me just love their work even more. They can do so many things. Their range is just insane. So this movie is just a testament to they can pretty much do whatever they want right now. I mean, this just ensures that they're probably just going to immediately come up with a new idea, go to a different movie, adapt something new. I don't know, but this is the kind of Lord and Miller are the kind that when you're hearing a movie comes out and you're like, oh, interesting, let's look into it, and you see it's directed by them, you're like, yeah, I'll be there. Like this is like
That was
Joseph
literally how I
Kosinski type
felt.
shit. It's the same thing as Joseph Kosinski. It's like, oh, okay, I will be there. Like it doesn't even matter if I think it looks good or not. If it's them, I'm at least gonna see it because they haven't missed. They know how to tell a story from beginning to end. They know how to close a story. They don't give you bullshit twist endings that mean nothing. Everything's meaningful. They have plans. They have written stories. They know how to work with comedy. They know how to they're so good. They're so good with everything they do. So this movie is just like the next one in line. And what's crazy is this is one of my favorites they've done, and they've done so many things. So you just got to give them so much credit for this movie. It's so awesome to see them. And there've been a bunch of behind the scenes of them and Gosling talking about this movie, and they all had so much fun making it. And I think that's pretty clear. Like seeing the behind the scenes without the green screens of Ryan Gosling on like the I don't even know what the machine is, but the thing that's like spinning him around and that making it look like there's no
Oh,
gravity,
the
and
like the centrifuge
he's on stuff like
in the
that.
ship.
Well, it's not the actual set. No, it's like the thing that
They
makes
built
it
a real
look
one.
like, yes, the things that they built to make it look like he's just floating around and shit. Like it's hilarious when you see him just flying around and laughing his ass off. So, and he said after this he wants to make more space movies. So I guess he enjoyed it a lot.
Good thing he's gonna be in
He
in
literally mentioned that. He
Starfighter,
was like,
yeah.
he was like,
So
I just did Star Wars, then I did this. I should be in more space
yeah.
movies.
What you described, Gabe, by the way, is literally exactly what happened. I had not a clue what this movie was going to be about. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, once we saw the trailer, I had more of an idea, but it was Lord and Miller and Ryan Gosling making a space comedy movie. I was like, see you there.
We will be there.
I didn't
Yeah.
even see a
And
trailer.
Wow.
you didn't ever
See
watch
any
one?
trailer in
The
the theaters?
the
No,
trailer
the
looks
trailer.
Wow, that's
it's a
crazy.
great trailer.
It is a great trailer. It got me, and it didn't
It,
give away anything. It just got me really excited.
the trailer made me be like, oh shit, this is actually probably going to be good. Like I was just
Yes.
interested because of the names. I was like, oh,
That's a tip of the hat you got to give them too, is for making an actual good, effective trailer that doesn't just immediately say, "Here's a big plot twist" and give it away. Like they
did
made
they
a
even show
real
Rocky?
trailer.
No, I don't
I
think
don't
so.
think
I
they
don't
ever
think they even
do.
showed
They show him
Rocky.
like
They showed like his
tapping.
hand or
They
something.
show him tapping. So you have literally no idea what this thing is other than rock, and
Yeah,
then
because
that's it.
that was my big question mark going into this is what was the alien? I just remember
Yeah.
seeing the tap, but I was like, what is this actually going to be? So I'm
Hmm.
glad they actually capitalized on
And
that too.
turns out he's just a little guy.
He's
I
just a little spider rock.
I wasn't sure what to expect, but
Speaking of that, we didn't really
I
talk
w
about
I
Rocky
wasn't
like at
expecting
all. Like
wasn't expecting him to go around in a hamster ball the whole movie, but here we
we
are.
didn't we didn't yeah, I'm gonna say we didn't mention Rocky at all. Really awesome the way they did Rocky with the mix of the puppet and the CGI. Not just doing they could have just CGI'd the whole thing, and I think it would have looked way worse because at no point does Rocky look like it's not a real thing. At no point does Rocky look like a fake CGI'd thing. Like the use of using a puppet and working through that is so perfect. And then obviously CGI is used to make it look more fluid, make it look more natural. But up until that, I mean, the puppet, it looks incredible. The voice acting is awesome. The way I like what you mentioned, Jack. I absolutely hilarious when he just rolls into the ship and
It's
he's
just
just
like, all
shouting
right.
everything, dirty, dirty, dirty. It's hilarious. It's so funny. But I also like it because then it allows there to be a way more personal side to the two of them. When they get to work next to each other, when they get to talk right to each other. Like, I love how much more emotional and personal it becomes. And like one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is when Rocky tells him that he would give him enough astro so he can go home. Like
Yeah.
enough
That
astrophagia and
was
go home.
peak.
That scene is so emotional and it's so good, and that's when you really get to feel the two of them as a duo for the first time instead of just Rylan going out through the tunnel and knocking on the glass and stand like if it would have been that for the whole movie and they never get to interact, you wouldn't have any. It wouldn't ever feel more than just like,
Oh.
dare I say, a rival.
It would suck like Arrival. That's what I was thinking.
My point is that makes it way more interactive. It makes a much more personal relationship between the two. It makes it emotional. And then you get the traumatizing scene when Rocky has to break out and you think he's gonna die, and then I want to kill myself for 20 minutes. I would have
Yeah,
actually
how is that by yourself?
this movie dead ass would have like lowered a star if Rocky doesn't live. Like if they would have tried to even if it like made complete sense, I would have lowered this movie a star. Like
I would have reported it.
keeping them both alive is it's the happy ending we all wanted, and it's not corny enough to where it's like, of course they both live. It would corny enough to me really would have been if they just both split ways and they went home in the end. Like that would have been kind of like, oh, okay, everyone gets their happy ending. Like I like the choice to not send him home. He chooses to stay. He chooses to save Rocky. I love that. It doesn't feel corny. But if they would have killed Rocky or if they would have killed Ryland, I would have not been happy. Like I still would have loved the movie, but keeping that relationship alive, keeping the bond between them, it's so awesome. It's so good. This movie just it it invokes every single emotion to the maximum in like the best way for me. And Caleb, I know you kind of had that as a con, is like it maybe didn't do that, but
Not yet.
watch it again.
Fingers crossed.
I don't know. Maybe it will the second time. For me, obviously, I had already been there, so watching it again was just like re-witnessing the same masterpiece. It was like when you go to like Olive Garden, and it's really good, and then you warm the leftovers up, and it's just as good the second time. Same thing.
I want to go to bat for a rival quick. That's a that's like a hostage
Okay.
situation.
Not rage bait, by the way. Not rage bait. That's how I
I know
feel.
that's your objective truth. Okay,
Get that movie away from me.
it's like
Did
a
you say it was
hostage.
objective truth?
Well, okay,
I heard
it's your
objective truth.
it's your. All right, man. I just got.
I heard objective truth.
Losing it.
I try to defend the movie and I get.
He's
Excellent.
losing it.
Anyways,
All right.
you said one word earlier that I wanted to say is you said tension. The fishing scene is probably the best scene of
Mhm.
the entire movie.
It's so
The
good.
whole 25-minute sequence where
Yes.
they're trying to collect
And the score.
samples. And I was like, I was like, this is gonna be really cliche. Nope, they do not stray away from actually showing to actually not working. I'm really glad that it didn't just like a one really easy. We got through it really easily. Nothing happened. I'm glad there was actually downfalls. There was negative effects of not succeeding.
Mhm.
That was one of my favorite scenes. That whole thing was sitting on the
Yes.
edge of my seat, and then the silence afterwards. I've never heard a
Yes.
theater as quiet since I saw Oppenheimer in theater when they dropped the bomb. That was the quietest I've heard the theater probably.
Funny enough, my viewing today, there when it goes silent, there was an old lady who went like, "Oh goodness," and I was like, "Okay," it's like, shut up, watch the
Okay.
movie, ma'am. No, but it was Caleb, I agree. That scene is incredible, and the change of like stark contrast with like watching the visuals of that scene and the green and the bright, like all the colors of that scene as well versus what we've seen before. When you're really seeing the like, you should maybe say arrival because you're typing in the chat, you heathens.
It's not
Seeing
me.
seeing the
It's a,
seeing the atmosphere and the environment in the fishing scene is so good. And then watching as we know when it falls down, when we know that he's gonna jump down and go get it, is so stressful. Like everything is just, and then like you said, choosing to have the engines actually fail and them not be able to stop it is like, yeah, it's traumatizing, it's intense, and it's not your cliche. Oh, that was close. We barely got out of there. It wasn't like that. It was intense. It almost kills Rocky. Like it's just awesome. It's so good. It's done so well.
yeah, true.
Get this man a true.
Get this man a true. All right. Well, does anybody have any final words they want to give before we do our little recap and ratings? Any final
I
thoughts?
I just want to say the way they use colors in this movie is
Yeah.
one of my favorite things. So the green planet, just that's been sticking with me. That's been like the shot that's been sticking out to me the most is how that green
So
just felt in the theater and all the colors they.
Yes.
That's
all you see
unfortunate.
is color, huh?
Okay.
That's all I heard.
All right.
Okay.
The
I
Petrova
got
line scene as well when
It's
he
getting late.
before the planet, the Petrova line scene when he's having a moment and it's just red everywhere. That scene is incredible. And then at the very end when you get to see the Iridian's planet, the blue with that ring. Oh man, that looks it's just so nice. It looks so good. So yeah, colors, good shout, good shout. Awesome. Well, there you guys go. That is the Culture versus full thoughts, ratings, and reviews over Project Hail Mary. We hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. But even if you didn't, we'd like to hear comments below. Tell us what you thought, whether you liked it or not. But as always, please continue to check out our other forms of social medias we will be posting there. And thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you guys next time.